So I recently took a trip to the Outer Banks in North Carolina to fish Pamlico Sound for some speckled trout and hit a local bait shop, and the owner is telling a tourist and his young son that they're wasting their time trying to fish during the day. It's impossible to catch anything after 8 a.m. May as well just sit on the beach all day. Challenge accepted. So here I am with the first fish of the day. It's not big, but it's the first fish. It's about 11:30 a.m. So it's nice to get it in the boat. But there's more to come, a lot more to come. This one's a nice fish. Just want to mention I have this sound down pretty low on the water audio simply because the wind was whipping that day. Actually, both days that I was fishing, it was in excess of 20 miles an hour. So really loud and noisy, but you can see right there, man, I'm fishing in really shallow water here. It's only between about 1 foot and 3.5 feet deep. So it's a whole different style of fishing for me, and the trout are hitting and they're immediately coming up top. And that's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I'm talking about right there. Yes! "20 inches. 20 inches. This beautiful fish. Unfortunately, it was gut hooked. So that is definitely coming back because it is not going to live. In just about every one of the videos that I do, I like to put where I fished and why. And this video right here is a little underwater, right under the kayak. The camera's just barely underwater. And this shows where I fished and why. So you can see the bait fish here, and they're congregating around the grass. And you can see the sand patches, the little sandbars or the potholes that are in there. And what I'm doing is I'm fishing the edges of the grass that you can see coming up here, and really targeting the edge where it meets the sand. And that's where I end up hooking every fish that I hook into on this trip. So it's just fishing those edges and working these grass flats, and that's what's producing. Now the wind can make it difficult to see because it kind of messes up the surface of the water, but you can see the lighter areas, that's the sand, and the darker area is the grass. And you can see right where I hook up, see it hit the surface there, it's right on that edge. So again, I'm fishing over the grass, and as soon as it's coming out of the grass and onto that sand, that's where I'm getting the hits from these fish. In this video, you're going to see that I'm using basically 2 different rods with 2 different setups on them, and they both work. In this case, what you're seeing on the screen right now is a rod that I'm using with a popping cork on it, and underneath the popping cork, between 1 foot and 1.5 feet underneath, I have a gulp shrimp or some other version of gulp, and that seems to be working the best. And I think it's working the best because not only does it have that extra scent in there, but it also has the noise from the popping cork helping. And as you saw in the underwater video a couple of minutes ago, it's really dirty with grass. It's very clear, but there's a lot of debris in the water. The other rig that I'm using is a traditional jig head with just a soft plastic on it. In this case, I'm using a Z-Man Slam Shady paddle tail, and that does produce, but just not as consistently today. I think it's important that I share, you know, truly what the day was like. And as you can see, I'm catching a lot of trout, and I still have a lot to go, but it's not all trout or redfish. Right here, I'm pulling in a fish that you just don't want to grab, you don't want to catch, because it's totally worthless. And as you can see right here, it's a small lizard fish. So we're still getting hit, especially on the gulp, by the lizard fish and pinfish, but luckily he let go. For the most part, I'm not interested in keeping these fish. So you can see I'm just kind of bringing them up or letting them thrash around a little bit next to the boat from time to time, just for a quick hands-free release. This is one of those fish that's not going to be big enough to keep. I don't want to keep a lot anyway. Just wanted to get enough for some fish tacos to have on vacation. So nice hands-free release right there. But again, you can see I'm still fishing these different edges, and you know, there's some nice fish in here as well.
Oh, that was a big one. That was a big one. Really small.
So I guess the moral of this story is, don't let some bitter tackle shop owner tell you that you can't catch fish and it's impossible. You may as well just go to the beach and sit there all day. So you can see in this video, I wasn't, you know, according to him, supposed to be out there catching anything, and I did pretty well for the day. I had a lot of fish and some quality fish in there as well. So now that you've seen this popping up on the screen, I have videos from other trips down in Pamlico Sound that I think you should check out, and I'll see you over in the next video.